Good evening, class. My name is Cami Cook. This is my EDL 850 Module 1 School Law Introduction. All about me. Currently, I am the Title I Reading Specialist at Buckland Schools and Federal Programs. I am the junior high boys basketball coach and junior high and high school cheer coach. I am the testing coordinator and pre-K through 5 counselor. I have 3 wonderful children. My oldest son is a freshman, he's 15. I have a 7th grade son who just turned 13 today, and my daughter is 9 and she is in 4th grade. We are avid sports fans. I personally love to golf, really love to do yard work. That's where I spent most of my day today. I am married to a farmer who does not have time to do a lot of the yard work, so that's what I've been doing most of the day. I live in the country and we have about 2 acres, and I've been scalping the yard today, fertilized last week, so my eyes are really red and I have a lot of allergies going on, but it was a wonderful day. We didn't have a lot of wind, which is not very typical in western Kansas, and the sun was shining, and so we had a great day outside. I'm a former kindergarten teacher and 1st grade teacher. I've been in the classroom for 15 years before I moved into my current job of reading specialist Title I, where I pull students into my classroom and we do little reading lessons in my classroom. Okay, let's get into this presentation. What supports do public schools receive? Local, state, and federal. At the local level, the responsibilities are just the day-to-day. Most of the day-to-day decisions and operations happen at the local level. In our school, we have we actually have 3 school districts within our county. And going through this module, I really learned a lot about where those funds are distributed, and having 3 districts in one county does get kind of tricky, and we are the smallest district in our county, so just knowing that we get less of the money than the 6A school. We are a 1A school. There's also a 6A school in our county, so obviously most of the funds go there. The local government also enforces state laws, policies, and they can enforce their own and implement their own. They are in charge of hiring teachers and making sure that they are doing well, making sure that their certificates are where they need to be, and then they work on delegating money that pay for the schools, usually by property taxes, bonds, those kinds of things. At the state level, the states are heavily involved in establishment, selection, and regulation of curriculum, teaching methods, and instructional materials in their schools. KSDE in Kansas has a phenomenal website and phenomenal resources and phenomenal staff that provide training in all of those things. And I'll talk more about KSDE here in just a little bit. At the federal level, most of the education policies, they delegate to the local and the state levels, but the federal role is mainly to ensure the right to free and public education by protecting the students' civil rights. And that includes FERPA, ESEA, Civil Rights, IEDA, Rehabilitation Act of 1973, Higher Education Act, all those cases that we've been reading about. Basically, the federal law or the federal government is there to protect the rights of the students. At our local level, we have a superintendent. His name is Mr. Kelly Lampy. His salary is $122,857. He is responsible. This I got directly from our board policy. He is to serve as our district's chief administrator, carry out all board policies, oversee safe and orderly schools, ensure student achievement, build positive community school relations, oversee effective staff performance, practice responsible fiscal, facility and resource management, and model positive professional attributes. We have 7 school board members, and they are they're on a volunteer basis. From what I've been told, the reason why they make sure that it's 7 and not 6 or 8 is because when they split votes, they want to make sure that, there's a tiebreaker by that odd number, which makes complete sense. At the state level, they have about 45% of the funding that comes from our school comes from state and local. Craig Neuenswanger is actually the acting commissioner in education. It was previously Randy Watson, and his salary is estimated to be about $230,000. And the State Commissioner of Education has responsibility for the Department of Education and oversees functions and that include communications, legal services, human resources, and then Brad Neuenswanger is also his deputy commissioner. And what I found very interesting in this is that the commissioner is appointed by the chief administration at KSD, but they're also organized into two divisions. They have a fiscal division and then they have administrative division. And if you go to their website, it delves further into who is on the fiscal and who is on the administrative side, but it makes complete sense. I am not really interested in being a superintendent ever because I'm not really interested in the fiscal side of education, and it takes a lot of knowledge on the fiscal side to be a superintendent, obviously. And for KSE to make those two divisions, those splits makes complete sense because you have the learning service division and then you have the fiscal and administrative service. I would choose the learning service side because I love curriculum, I love data, I love all things when it comes to curriculum. At the federal level, Dr. Miguel Cardona is our Secretary of Education, and he makes about $200,000 a year. The duties and function is for him to oversee the direction and supervision, to coordinate all activities, and be the voice and be the face of education in the United States, anything related to education in the United States. And I found this on KSE also, not on KSE actually, on the Center for Public Justice. I found this neat, organized flow chart that the Office of Secretary, and then it goes down from there, the different branches. And I thought that was really interesting, all the way from Office of Civil Rights down to the White House initiatives. It was very visual, and my brain works in a very visual way, but I really enjoyed how that website breaks that down. The NS number 6 components, 6.1 I felt was local because it said school level governance, the students' learning needs, the mission and the vision of the school. That to me was just obvious that would speak to the local level. 6.2, I believed that it was at the state level because data informed resources when it comes to school improvement and student development with the curriculum, and advocating for the curriculum and advocating for those students and the development of the curriculum is at the state level. And then 6.3, I believe that it was federal because it was more laws, rights, policies, in that nature. How does all of this support the education, success, and well-being of students and adults? And the main job of the federal government is to protect the civil rights of the students, but when all three layers of the government, at the local, the state, and the federal, when they're all consistent and compliant, then and they're each following what they're supposed to be, the students are provided with an equal access to education. They're also provided with the best teachers, the best curriculum, the best textbooks, the best facility that the district can provide. And when everybody, all the leaders at the three levels are doing everything that they can do, if your principals and your superintendents are making sure that their facilities are the best and their curriculum is the best that they can do by their mills or their property taxes or their bond issues, if they're doing everything that they can at all three levels, then basically all students are provided with the best and equal access. This assignment is correlated to all three of the CLOs because they state that the learner will be able to implement laws, rights, policies, which is at the federal level, promote vision and mission of the school, and that's the school local level, and support school improvement. And these are all tied to local, state, and federal governance. This is very relevant. This assignment was very relevant to my current learning because I'm the current federal programs director, which includes Title I and Title III. Our auditor was in the building this week, and she's checking on all of our federal compliance documents for Title I and Title III, making sure we're having para meetings, making sure my ESL log minutes are correct, making sure the paras are under the direct supervision of a teacher who has their ESL certification. And after reading these articles included in this module, I had a better understanding of where the federal funding came from and the percentage of the funding that funds my school, and I was better equipped with knowledge to understand what the auditor was looking for and why she was looking for those documents. We're receiving so many Title I monies and so many Title III monies, and basically our end, we have to make sure that we are being accountable on our end and living up to the expectations when the government, the state, at the state level gives us the money. We need to make sure we're doing what we're supposed to it. And this assignment was very relevant to me because of that. Oops. My reflection, looking forward, this assignment will change the way I teach and learn because I have a better background knowledge now about the local, the state, and the federal government. It's important to know the structure of education finance and the laws that have to be followed at each level. And one of the things that I said I would influence and be a better future educator, because first of all, I will be able to help my superintendent make those decisions. I will have an educated input on maybe a bond issue that he's talking about, and I will be able to say, I will be able to understand the fiscal side of where our money comes from. And the second part is we live in such a small community, and everybody thinks that they have the perfect solution. And I've always wanted to be an advocate for my school district when topics arise. So many controversial issues right now as far as we need a new track, or we need a new baseball field, or we have modular buildings that were built or that were put in about 25 years ago and they haven't been replaced yet. And so there's everybody in the community has a different opinion on what needs to be spent, what our monies need to be spent first. And I will be able to advocate now. There's special rules, there's special laws and regulations that we have to follow, and our money comes from different things. Like I said, we are the smallest school in Ford County, Kansas, and we don't receive the funding that Dodge City, Kansas does. They have thousands of students. We have about 300. There's also a community college in Dodge City, and so that affects our money. And I will be able to have those conversations with the adults at the grocery store when they're asking, why did Dodge City just get a new track? Or I see wind towers that are going up. What school district are they in would be my first question that I would ask. And then we would just kind of go from there. But I really enjoyed this assignment and getting to know the local level and the state level and the federal level. Here are my references. And it's so nice to meet everybody. See you guys later.